since it started?
Yeah, Gigi, this all started north of the North Santa Clarita area as sheriffs started this pursuit following possible residential burglary suspects, and they're possibly armed as well. It got on the southbound 5 freeway, came down through the Magic Mountain area at 100 miles an hour using the center divider. You can see him getting into that center lane right now. The suspects have been up to 90 miles to 100 miles an hour all the way down the 5 here. We're just in the Burbank area, southbound on the 5 freeway, just passing Victory, and you can see there's several CHP units that are behind this as well. There are a couple others that are farther back. One of them is up close. The Sheriff's Department pulled off of this pursuit once the CHP got involved at about southbound the 5 freeway at the 14, and CHP took it over. They have started handing it off to their units as they make their way. We're getting into some heavier traffic here southbound. We're just about at Alameda, and you can see he's using that center divider to try to get through all this traffic. Now, there's reportedly 4 people inside the vehicle, and like I said, the sheriff passed on to the CHP that these were residential burglary suspects and possibly armed as well. And like I said, the pursuit started just about 2:45 as it came southbound on the 5 freeway at over 100 miles an hour. Things have slowed down just a bit here as there is a lot more traffic as the 5 starts to meet up with the 134.
Now, we've seen him speeding, like you said, Kevin, up to 100 miles an hour. Any accidents so far? Because it always seems that it's the innocent bystanders that get hurt in this.
No, we haven't heard of anybody that's been, any accidents that have been involved due to this. There was a small accident just about at the 5 near Calgro, but that was before they got there. The suspects then ran through the center divider at a very high rate of speed, trying to get around that accident. Then once they cleared it, they picked up speed again. But you can see, still, we're doing about, the ground units are reporting down below that they're doing 90 miles an hour here. Traffic down below is moving at about 60 as they're starting to get a lot more volume is starting to build as it gets southbound on the 5 freeway, coming up on the 134. We're just passing over the LA River here.
And now we're starting to see him weave in and out of lanes, as you said, traffic starting to build up on that freeway. Now, reportedly 4 suspects. Do we know anything about them? I heard earlier that they are believed to be armed.
Yes, the information that was passed over to the CHP from the Sheriff's Department was that it's possibly that they are possibly armed. Now we're passing the 134 freeway southbound on the 5 freeway, 85 miles an hour. We're just coming up on the zoo area. Traffic looking up ahead is fairly light at this point, but as it gets closer to downtown, it does start to slow down a bit as it gets over towards the 2 freeway. Now there's this sheriff's airship above, as well as the CHP airship that is also inbound to this location here, because they do have several suspects in this vehicle.
Blinds because of the glare.
Now we're following us also on Twitter. A lot of questions coming in on our Twitter page. One of them from SoCal Pete asking, why do these people think they can get away? And another question that we always get when we see these pursuits is the pit maneuver. Now, usually we don't see it at this rate of speed, especially on such a crowded freeway, right, Kevin?
It's not crowded. Look how bare the freeway is.
I'm sorry, I was listening to the radios again. Say that again. Ask the question again, Gigi.
Well, we always get asked, one of the most frequent questions I get asked is, why don't pursuing police use the pit maneuver or spike strips on that freeway? Talk to me a little bit about that, because we usually don't see that with these high rates of speed, right, Kevin?
Yeah, they usually only make pit maneuvers at 35 miles an hour or less, because at this high of speed and so many cars in the area, if they tried to pit the vehicle, they would lose control of it so much that they would end up hitting multiple cars, especially with this much traffic on the freeway. And as far as setting up a spike strip alongside on the freeway here, it's just really too difficult. You've got 5 lanes here, plus he's using the center divider here, so it's hard to set up a spike strip and put officers, they are in harm's way when they try to throw those spike strips out there in front of a moving vehicle, as well as several other vehicles within the lanes here. So unless the driver was staying in the far right-hand lane, it might be, it's hard for them to set up those spike strips unless the driver is driving like at a steady speed. But you can see everything is very erratic here, moving back and forth between that center divider and the number 1 lane, just trying to get through all of this traffic. It is starting to build here. Oh, he's hitting the brakes right there very hard. We are just north of Los Feliz here as we make our way southbound. Speeds have dropped a little bit here, but now you can see starting to weave through the slower traffic here. The traffic itself has slowed down to about 50, 40 miles an hour, and that's kind of slowed the pursuit down. Now he's got some clear air, so he's picked up speed once again, moving over to the far right side lane there. He's going around, trying to go around some big rigs here, and then back out to the middle lanes, and then back out to the number 2 lane, and then far left lane again.
Now, if you're just joining Fox 11, we've been following
this is an accident waiting to happen.
Started about 2:45 this afternoon in the Santa Clarita area when LA County Sheriffs got a call of a residential burglary.
Oh wow, that's like over an hour north of
reportedly
here.
inside that Chevy Tahoe, which we have been seen speeding down freeways at about 100 miles an hour. I think one of the lowest speeds we've seen is about 85 miles an hour on the 5 South right now.
Does he really
heading
think he's
towards
going to
downtown Los Angeles, where we're sure he's going to run into some kind of traffic checks, checking the traffic reports here to see what we can expect when he gets into the downtown area. And we have Kevin Takumi up above in Sky Fox following this pursuit since it started.
We're just passing the 2 freeway here, and you can see the traffic is starting to build as you start to get around Dodger Stadium here. So he's saying using that center divider, that emergency center divider lane, they were possibly hoping that there was some talk. He was hoping that he would just get a flat tire just from all the debris that usually builds up in that center divider. But so far, that hasn't happened. But the resident, the moving traffic down below is moving at about 40 miles an hour and not moving as fast as it was coming down the 5 freeway coming out of the Newhall Pass.
Now we're checking the traffic conditions, and traffic because of the holiday still fairly light. He will encounter a little bit of traffic as he gets to the interchange in the downtown Los Angeles area, but right now it seems like it's full speed ahead for him, which is actually probably a good thing in this case, less chance of anybody getting hurt.
Why is there less chance of getting hurt when he's full speed
And now we're going to go live to Officer Mike Harris of the California Highway Patrol. They have taken over this pursuit from the LA County Sheriff's Department.
Getting on the
Officer Harris, thank you for joining us. What can you tell us about this?
We're going 110 south.
Absolutely.
Oh, the 110 south. Okay.
We were requested
okay. He'll be
this afternoon to take over a pursuit that
in downtown LA in about a mile.
Of burglary suspects traveling southbound on the 5 freeway. We took over the pursuit approximately around Magic Mountain Boulevard, and they're continuing to follow the vehicle.
Oh gosh, he has to slow down because the freeway curves right here.
What do we know about the suspects inside? I've heard 3, I've heard up to 4 that they possibly could be armed. Do we have any confirmation on that?
You know, we don't have absolute confirmation on that. That's the same information that we've been provided at this time from the Sheriff's Department.
Okay, and we are following this pursuit. They have now transitioned onto the 110 southbound. Of course, very dangerous speed. Do we have reports of any accidents? We heard of a nearby accident. We don't know if that was related to this pursuit or not.
It's going really fast.
All I have heard is that the suspect drivers have come close to colliding with the center divide, but I haven't had confirmation of any accidents this time.
What is the plan? Getting a lot of questions. Of course, we've already talked about the pit maneuver, not being able to use it on the freeway like this at these high speeds. What is the plan right now, Officer Harris?
You know, we're going to continue to follow the vehicle. You know, unfortunately, of course, I can't get into policy details at this time for the safety of everybody involved. But we'll continue to follow the vehicle and just get our judgment on the
Is that a motorcycle caught behind it?
Determine what the best course of action is.
And as with other departments, is the final decision on whether to keep pursuing the suspect in the hands of the pursuing officers or the sergeant or lieutenant in charge?
Absolutely. They're the ones that are on the scene. They're the ones that are there, and it's up to them to make that decision.
He's heading towards Compton.
All right, Officer Mike Harris with the CHP, thank you very much. We're going to continue to follow this pursuit closely. This is happening live. Skyfox above this pursuit. Taken over by the California Highway Patrol about 2:30 this afternoon from the LA County Sheriff's Department after reports of a burglary, or residential burglars rather. Joining me now is Sergeant Darren Harris from the LA County Sheriff's Department. I believe the Santa Clarita Station. Officer Sergeant Harris.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. What can you tell us about this pursuit? How did this all start?
Well, we got a call just after 2 p.m. today to the 32,000th block of Ridgetop Lane in the Castaic area. A homeowner called and reported that they heard someone break into their home. They heard some noises inside the home. They did the right thing and fled the house and went to a neighbor's house where they immediately called. Do you still have me?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Sergeant, go ahead.
Where they immediately called the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. And we responded, and some of our first deputies on scene there spotted this felony burglary vehicle and these 3 suspects fleeing the area. We initiated a pursuit of this vehicle and entered the 5 southbound freeway and since then turned over to the hands of the California Highway